What would you do if you know you were dying? No cure, no hope, every single day wondering, is today my last? Then, just when you accepted that this is the end, someone gives you one last chance to live. And instead of holding to your only chance to live, you destroy it. That's exactly what Muzan Kibutsuji did, and that single decision would give birth to the greatest evil the world has ever seen. Long before he became a monster, Muzan was just a child who wasn't expected to survive. Muzan Kibutsuji was born with a mysterious illness that slowly consumed his body. As the years passed, nothing changed. No treatment worked, no cure existed. Eventually, death no longer felt like a possibility, it felt inevitable. Until one day, everything changed. A doctor came forward claiming he had developed a medicine unlike anyone had tried before, a treatment that might finally save Muzan's life. For the first time, there was hope. Neither of them knew the single treatment would reshape the fate of the entire humanity. The doctor's treatment had given Muzan something he'd never truly had before: hope. But as the time passed, nothing seemed to change. The illness was still there, his body was still weak, and the medicine that was supposed to save his life appeared to have failed. Convinced that he'd been deceived, Muzan lost patience, and in fit rage, he killed the very man who dedicated himself to saving his life. It was her biggest mistake. Not long after the doctor's death, something impossible began to happen. The illness that had haunted Muzan since birth slowly disappeared. His body grew stronger, his senses became sharper, and he gained strength far beyond that of any ordinary human. The medicine had worked. But the miracle came at a terrible cost. Muzan discovered that he could no longer survive under the sun. The treatment that had saved his life had also turned him into something no longer human. Worse still, the medicine had never been completed. Its final ingredient, which is an incredible rare flower known as blue spider lily, and with the doctor gone, Muzan had no way of learning how to finish what had started. From that moment on, Muzan devoted his entire existence to finding the blue spider lily. He believed it was the only way to conquer the sun, and that obsession would drive every decision he made for the next 1,000 years. With his new powers came a hunger unlike anything Muzan had ever experienced. No longer bound by the limits of a human body, he began consuming humans to survive, and with every passing year, he only grew stronger. It didn't take long for Muzan to discover that his blood could transform humans into demons. Most couldn't survive the process, but the few who did become fiercely powerful and completely bound to his will. Over the centuries, those demons grew into an army, including the 12 Kizuki and also known as Upper Moons, the strongest demons to ever serve under him. But despite all that power, Muzan's true goal never changed. He searched endlessly for the blue spider lily, believing it was the key to conquer the sun. He lived under countless identities, blending into human society while secretly expanding his influence and sending demons across the country in search for that flower. The world came to know him as a demon king, but to Muzan, his journey was far from over. His greatest enemy wasn't the Demon Slayer corpse, it was still the sun. Centuries passed, kingdoms rose and fell, generations came and went, but no matter how much power Muzan gained, one thing never changed. He was still incomplete. The blue spider lily remained out of reach, and despite sending countless demons across the country to search for it, the answer continues to slip through his fingers. As the years turned into centuries, Muzan's influence spread across Japan. Every demon born from his blood carried out his will, leaving entire villages in fear and forcing humanity into a war they never chose. Families were torn apart, innocent lives were lost, and with every passing generation, the number of demons continued to grow. But the humanity refused to surrender. To stand against the monsters Muzan had unleashed, the Demon Slayer Corps continued to grow in secret, dedicating generation after generation to protect humanity and hunting the demons that terrorized the night. Countless demon slayers sacrificed their lives pursuing a single goal to one day defeat the Demon King himself. Yet, despite centuries of battles, countless sacrifices, and the rise of many Hashiras, one man responsible for it all always remained beyond the reach. Hidden among humans, Muzan continued expanding his influence while searching endlessly for the one thing he still couldn't obtain, the blue spider lily. Even after 1,000 years, the one weakness he could never erase was the sun. Then everything changed once again. For the first time in history, a demon had done the impossible. Nezuko Kamado conquered the sun. To Muzan, she wasn't just another demon, she was the final prize. She represented everything he had spent centuries searching for, and the chance to erase his last weakness, complete the unfinished dream that began with a mysterious doctor's medicine, and finally become the perfect life form he had always wanted to be. All leads directly into the story unfolding in the anime and the upcoming movies. Since this is a spoiler free backstory, I'll leave the rest for you to experience yourself. If you enjoyed this spoiler free backstory, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments which anime character you'd like me to cover next. Whether it's a backstory, character analysis, or a deep dive into the lore, I love to hear the suggestions. And thanks for watching. I'd like to see you guys in the next one.